I am placed at a STEM school in the Lansing School District called Sheridan Road STEM in a fourth grade classroom. Prior to this class, I believed that comprehension came from just reading something over and over, that it was just memorizing a book and its contents. Then students used this memorized information in a discussion, but instead of it having meaning, it was to show the teacher that we read the material. In a discussion-based lesson that we did, this is what I believed because I wasn't taught to read something from a deeper understanding and to just read to have a discussion and then forget. Now I believe that discussion-based lessons are used to develop a deeper understanding for the book. In this deeper understanding, we as the student have to figure out what the underlying message of the book is or what the author is trying to convey through each character's actions. The experiences of learning this through course texts, discussions, and in my classroom placement helped influence my beliefs as a teacher by giving me the tools I needed in order to be able to explain this to one of my students. Especially the book we read, Comprehension Instruction Through Text-Based Discussion, and how the authors Kukin and Palinskar stated, constructing a situation model of text information is key to comprehension. Reading this made everything finally make sense to me and helped me understand that in order for a student to grasp the idea of comprehension, that we also need to, as a teacher, build up the background knowledge of the subject before we introduce it. This means that now as a teacher, I know that comprehension is more than memorizing and involves a lot of scaffolding. In a text-based discussion, I would use a short expository piece for my students to teach them about how to use the text as supporting evidence. This will help start scaffold their background knowledge so that they will use evidence from the text every time. During a text-based discussion, my classroom looks like small groups when we first start out. Each member in the group needs to be able to explain what their group talks about so that as the teacher, I know that they are paying attention and really comprehend what they are reading. Once the groups have been given about 2 minutes to discuss, then we come back together as a class and have a full class discussion. At first, I will lead the discussion, then slowly letting them take over so that it's fully student-led, and eventually just be there to make sure that they're on topic. Before the discussion, as the teacher, my role will be to prompt the students with the first question and kind of get the ball rolling, calling on the first couple of students and then letting them just take turns. During the discussion, my role will be to make sure that they stay on task and they don't stray off topic. I will also initiate the next part of the conversation by asking the next question, repeating until all the questions have been discussed. After the discussion, as the teacher, my role will be to address any lingering questions the students might have, and allowing the other students to answer them, not just me, because you never know, the student might know more. In doing this, it allows the students to see one another's viewpoints and to learn how to disagree and agree politely. In doing that, it can add positively to the discussion rather than negatively. Some moves that I would make during the discussion would be to ask prompting questions such as, how do you know this, or where in the text can you prove what you're saying is true? These questions will help scaffold their use of text to support a claim that they are making, which allows the other students to understand why they are saying what they are saying. It also allows other students who may have not thought about this point to go back to the reading and say, oh yeah, I agree, or oh, I disagree, and this is why, using evidence. In the future, I will make sure to reiterate how important it is to not only understand what you're reading, but also to comprehend the different parts in order to effectively communicate your ideas in a class or group discussion using the evidence at hand. Keeping in mind will help me as a teacher think about literacy learning and how to teach them by sticking to a scaffolding idea and building my students' schemas and background knowledge. Scaffolds will help the students